We all have to have goals, right? One of my goals right now is to get one of those fancy 100,000 subscriber YouTube plaques. My buddy Richard over at Dark Horse Workshop got his like last year or sometime, and I'm like just chomping at the bit. So if you guys want to help me out, share my videos around, that would be amazing, because if we can get more subscribers, then I get to hang something shiny in my office, which is going to be great. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We started the 50,000 subscriber challenge. It's a personal challenge to me, and I am taking $50,000 of my own money, and I am going to be popping it into Apple shares. I don't even know if I mentioned that in the last video, but the idea is that I'm going to be doing a wheel strategy, and I'm going to be trying to generate 1% a week for the next 13 weeks. So I'm going to take $50,000 and I'm going to try to make a $7,000 profit. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do it, and all the posts are public. So if you want to check those out, go over to my Patreon page. You're going to be looking for this tag Drawbridge50K, and if you type that in the search bar, it will sort out or filter out all of the posts that are related to this, and it'll just show you those public posts. Otherwise, you could become a patron and you can check out any of the posts if you like. Or there's this pinned post right here. You can just click on that and that will bring it up. Here's the very first post, and you've got this fancy graphic that I designed, and then it's got a write-up. So let's just take a look at what the post actually looks like. I'm about to start the strategy. I'm starting with 2 naked puts. The idea is that I'll collect a bit of credit to build some cash and use that to buy stocks. Now, the thought process here is that I only have $50,000, and with the stock trading today at around 128, that's only enough for me to buy about 390 shares, which means that I can't actually buy 400 stocks, which is what I would need to sell 4 covered calls if I ended up in that position. So what I want to do is I want to use this 50,000 and get a really low cost basis. The idea is I am going to start in phase 0, where my account holds 0 shares of Apple currently. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell an out of the money put. Now, each put that I sell is going to be obligating me to buy the shares, 100 shares, at the strike price. And then what's going to happen is one of 2 things. The stock's either going to go above that strike, or it's going to go below the strike price. So if it goes above, then I get to keep whatever credit I sold that put for. If it goes below, then I'm going to roll that out in time, and I'm going to keep collecting credit each week or each month, depending on the phase length that I want to do. Now, in this case, I'm being quite aggressive. I actually sold puts this morning that expire in 4 days. And then I sold another lot, so a second put, a second wheel strategy, so to speak, in the following week. And that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the details today. Let's get into this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Drawbridge Finance. My name is Levi Woods, and this is an opinion channel about money. Of course, I don't offer any financial advice at all. The trades that I'm making in these particular videos are with my own money, and I am not recommending any stock purchases or option purchases at all. I just provide this for information so you guys can see someone like me and like the real world scenarios that I might be when I'm actually looking at these particular trades. Now, the stock that I've chosen is Apple, and we talked about that briefly, and I can't actually afford to buy 400 shares. So the idea with this strategy is that I need to get that cost basis down, and strike selection has a lot to do with that. So when I look at the shares today, my assumption is that they're going to go up, and I don't know how much they're going to go up, and I also don't know if they're going to go down. So by using this strategy, I can actually protect myself quite a bit, because I can get a very low cost basis before I even get into the trade. Now, just doing some quick math on it, because I have $50,000 and I want to buy ultimately 400 shares and have control of that, I need to be able to pay less than $125 per share. And it's currently trading at 128 bucks. So how do I get those shares to be worth less by $3 per share? I mean, I could wait until they go down, but if my assumption is that they're going to go up, maybe I can make some money in the interim and I can buy a couple of shares with those proceeds. So that's what we're going to do. So today what we're looking at is I actually put in 2 trades, and I'm being pretty aggressive about this. I might normally not be quite so aggressive, but because I've challenged myself to make 1%, I'm just going for the gusto here, and I'm going to show you how the behind the scenes math works on this. So in this particular case, we're looking at the Apple put now from January 22nd. Now today is Tuesday, so this is going to be just a couple of days from now, expiring in 4 days at the end of Friday. And the strike that I'm looking at is actually 129. Now the reason I'm looking at this is because it has quite a large value because the put is actually in the money. Now I know you just looked at this other chart and it says action, sell one out of the money cash secured put. Well, I'm cash secured, and in this case, I just want to get this juicy premium because it's going to bring my cost basis down. Let's look at a little bit of math on that. What would my cost basis be? Well, if I agree to pay $129 per share and today I collect $2.11, then my cost basis when I actually am assigned the shares would actually be $126.89. I would subtract the $2.11 from the 129, and that would be my cost basis on this trade. Now, I could choose something that's out of the money, and I actually am running two strategies at the same time. So the first one is the January 22nd 129 put for $2.11 I collected today. Now the second one is for a week later. It's January 29th, and I went for a lower strike. This is right at that 125 mark, and that's really where I want to be. I want my cost basis to be at least 125 or less so I can afford to purchase the 400 shares that I need to buy to complete the full investment of the $50,000. Now for this one, because there's more time value, I actually was able to collect quite a lot of premium, $2.54. So again, doing the math on this, 125 minus 254 would give me my ultimate cost basis. Now I'm doing those two strategies at the same time. So by selling a put at January 29th at the 129, I control 100 shares. If the value goes up above that 129, those put options are going to expire worthless this week anyways, and I'm going to keep the whole premium. Now, if the stock goes down, I may be forced to take assignment. And that is where I think that a lot of people misuse the wheel strategy. I have no intention of taking assignment on these shares this week. I just want to make money off of it. So if we look at a typical chart that we see, that in this first phase, they suggest selling a put, and then if the stock goes down, the put is assigned and we're long the stock. Now in my case, I don't mind taking assignment, but I'm not going to do it on this first go around. I'm going to roll this out in time, and we'll be able to do that for more credit each time. Let's just look at the January 29. The 129 put has $4.40 in value. And if we remember, the January 22nd only had $2.11. So there's another $2.30 in time premium left in that extra week. And that's my intent. I'm actually going to roll these contracts before they expire out to the next week for an additional credit. Now you're probably wondering, well, why wouldn't I just go out to that further date right away? Well, let's do a little bit of math on that. Let's take a look so you can see where I'm getting these numbers. The January 22nd puts, the 124 strike has a value of 34 cents currently. So the 124 strike has 34 cents. The next one, 125 strike, has a value of 50 cents. 125 strike had a value of 50 cents. Now, one of the things I want to show you is what the intrinsic and extrinsic value are of these. Now, I know these are like fancy words, but basically what we're looking at is the extrinsic value, how much value there is in the IV and the time that's left in this trade. Now, of course, any put that's out of the money has no intrinsic value left in it. It only has extrinsic value. So in this case, the whole value of the option, 34 cents, is the extrinsic value. 125 strike has 50 cents, 75 cents, and you can see once we get into the money, now there's a little bit of value. So the intrinsic value is the 12 cents difference between 128 and the current stock price of 127.88. What I'm looking for is maximizing that time value and getting as much out of this trade as we can. So of course, I want to go really, really close to the at-the-money options. We can see in here by looking at theta that the at-the-money options have the greatest value when they're closest to the current strike price. So the 128, when the stock was trading at 127.88, had the largest theta. It goes down if we go up the chart, and it goes down If we go down the chart, I am trying to get this sweet spot. I'm trying to like pitch where the stock is going to be. So earlier today, the stock was actually trading above 128. And I thought, well, okay, so I was prepping this video to look at the 129 put. And the stock slipped down just a little bit right before I pulled the trigger on making this trade. And it actually was a bit of a benefit for me because I'm putting in these sold puts when the stock was at a lower price, which was actually a good thing. So I want to sell when the price is reducing of the underlying, when it's pulling back. Now, even though it was pulling back, I actually expect it to go back up before the end of the week. So I want to collect as much credit as possible, and I'm trying to hit that target spot. So when we break this out, we can see what the extrinsic value is of the trade, and then we can divide that by the number of days. So we can kind of see the daily extrinsic value decay. And so that math is really simple. It's just 34 cents divided by 4 gives us 9. And we can see this sweet spot is right at the money. The 128 gives us the greatest extrinsic value decay. Okay, are you guys still following me? Now, again, I'm talking about the sweet spot. So what I want to look at is the total value as well. And now that is if this stock is actually able to rise up and this put is going to expire out of the money, how much value was I able to suck out of it? So that's what I'm looking at in this next column that I'm comparing is the total value. So because these have no intrinsic value when they're out of the money, that's all you're collecting is the extrinsic value divided by the number of days. So the total value is exactly the same as the extrinsic value. But in the case of these ones with intrinsic, we're getting some of the intrinsic value if that stock price rises. So we actually get to collect the difference, so to speak. So because the shares are trading at 127.88, if they were to rise up to 129 and expire worthless, then I would be collecting this entire premium inclusive of the intrinsic value and the extrinsic value, which means that the higher my strike, the more potential money I can make on this trade. In this case, I would be making 53 cents per day, or $53 per day, which is, these get multiplied by 100. So that's where I get this $211 in 4 days. So that would be my hope, that it goes up above the 129. Then I'll be able to close that trade on Friday, and I will roll it out to the next week in the January 29th expiration cycle. Now this second play, the little bit longer time frame, is because I'm trying to be risk adverse in this. I don't mind paying $125 a share, but I'd like to pay even less. So looking at this math really quickly, the 125 strike, I sold it today for $254. That's fully extrinsic value. I'm losing 23 cents per day in extrinsic value, which is the total. And then if I'm assigned, my cost basis is going to be 122.46, which is below my threshold of 125. And it's going to kind of balance out the 129 put that I've sold. In the event that the stock comes like crashing down next week, which it could, because there's earnings coming out January 27th. And this is part of the reason why I'm starting this strategy right now and being so aggressive with it today. But if it comes crashing down, say it goes to like $100, then I'm going to end up buying shares at this average cost. Now, if we combine those two together, let's say I got assigned on both of them. The average cost would be $124.68. So the cost of buying 200 shares would be $24,935, which is half of the $50,000 that I've allocated towards this trade. And you can see why I chose these particular strikes, because it gives me this lower cost basis and is going to allow me to fully get to my position, which is ultimately going to be 400 shares. Now, there's going to be an adjustment later this week because of this, and I'm actually going to collect a little bit more credit on this January 22nd put, the 129. When that's getting close to expiration, I will be rolling. So I can tell you right now that Friday morning will be my next post. Regardless of what is happening, I am going to make some maneuver. I'm going to either close that 129 put for a very, very small debit, or I'm going to close it for a large debit and roll it out in time by selling a new contract for the January 29th date, the 129 strike put. And I'm going to collect more credit for that. It should be around $2 or so. And that's the whole idea with this, is that I'm going to be able to generate this $200 every single week for each contract that I have open. And we're going to talk specifically about where I roll that price or that strike to on Friday. So if you followed along with any of this, because I know this was a highly technical thing, remember to hit that subscribe button down below, leave a comment, and give me a thumbs up, because I want to show you guys all the nitty gritty on this, and we're going to go through each and every step, and hopefully you'll learn something and kind of get that osmosis going. Thanks so much for watching, and let's get rich together.